Your support helps us bring you programs you love. Go to wyomingpbs.org, click on Support, and become a sustaining member or an annual member. It's easy and secure. Thank you.
The Cowboy Mounted Shooting Association was created in the mid-1990s for equestrians and cowboy action shooters to participate in a competitive shooting sport while riding horseback. Some call it barrel racing with an attitude. We'll learn about the sport firsthand at the largest mounted shooting event ever held in Wyoming. Cowboy Mounted Shooters, next on Wyoming Chronicle. Here in Wyoming, cowboys and cowgirls remember the days of the Old West. When skills like good riding and fast shooting garnered praise. Now a family-centered sport, called by its organizers as America's fastest growing equine sport, a competition that showcases riders, great horses, and straight-aim shooters, has come to Wyoming. Most of us have seen barrel racing at a rodeo here in the Cowboy State. Now, keep those beautiful horses, add a few more turns, 10 targets and 2 single-action revolvers and 2 holsters. While racing through the course, shoot the first 5 target balloons, holster the first gun, grab the second, and shoot 5 more targets as you gallop full speed towards the finish line. That's Cowboy Mounted Shooting. The riders are scored on timing and accuracy. There's a 5-second penalty for each missed target, a 5-second penalty for dropping a gun, a 10-second penalty for not running the course correctly, and a 60-second penalty for falling off your horse. Speed is important, however, a typical pattern can be ran in 15 to 30 seconds, so penalties can really hurt. There are over 50 possible patterns, and riders learn which patterns they'll ride when they're drawn out of a hat on the day of competition.
That's a time of 24.570. Up next we'll have Rod Wilson, Albert on deck, Kevin in the hole, Randall be ready.
The competition may consist of several runs each day, and each pattern consists of 10 balloons. In between each run, volunteers race out to replace the target balloons to get the course ready for the next rider. What about dress? It's required that competitors dress Western in either traditional Western style or in the old-time style of the late 1800s. Traditional style includes a long-sleeve Western shirt, 5-pocket blue jeans covered by chinks or chaps, Western boots, and a cowboy hat. Are there horse requirements like breed or registration? No. Any horse or mule can be ridden. Some horses take to cowboy mounted shooting easily, and others do not. It's up to the horse's temperament and a desire to train to get used to shooting, turning, and going fast. Lisa Grimsley is now with us. Welcome to Wyoming Chronicle. You're an organizer of this great event here in Star Valley. Lisa, but you've been involved with the sport of mounted shooting for a long, long time. And let's start there. What is your interest in mounted shooting, and what is the sport?
Well, Cowboy Mounted Shooting has been around for about 20 years, and a little over 20 years. It was founded in Arizona, and obviously the attraction is our horses. And once you kind of get over the competition, you realize you've been welcomed into just a phenomenal family of people that are very like-minded, very salt of the earth, and we have kind of a mixed bag of people as far as our ages and what genres they've come from, like roping, barrel racing, trail riding, and that kind of thing. And so we're kind of a big melting pot of people that all enjoy the same thing. We put a lot of miles on, not only our horses, but our vehicles, traveling throughout the country. So we're really lucky we live in a free country that we can have firearms and have the rights to travel.
So what is the genesis of the sport? Who started it? Where did it begin?
His name is Jim Rogers, and he is still competing today. And it was formed in Arizona, and they ran around cactus and shot at balloons, and they didn't have an arena. They just went out kind of, it was pretty Western, I think, back then. And our sport is now the fastest growing equine sport in the country, but we also have a worldwide presence. So Jim is the founder, and him and his wife still compete, and almost all of the board competes on the CMSA.
Is there a part of the United States where this sport is most popular, and other than segments of the country where it's growing?
Well, it's growing a lot in the Northeast, and Minnesota, where I'm from, has a huge club, and it kind of goes ebbs and flows. I think depending on who's on your board and how much enthusiasm they have for the sport and how much they want to promote it and have new shooters clinics, which is the lifeblood of your sport, to get new people involved. You know, you don't have a tall peak without a wide base, so you have to get new people coming in, and so they can move up the ranks. But you have to have good promoters of your sport and good advocates for your sport in order to have it grow. But I've traveled almost every state in the United States, and obviously in the South in the winter is a pretty nice place to shoot balloons. Although it's beautiful here today, we get about 10 feet of snow in the winter. So that kind of kills any horse activities.
What are the hurdles for growth of the sport? You know, you've talked about it's kind of geographically maybe a little more participated in different regions and stuff. What do you see as the hurdles to really make it more mainstream?
Well, I think it's an education, because you say barrel racing and everybody knows what that means, or bull riding, but nobody knows cowboy mounted shooting. They just give you the deer in the headlight look. So you have to educate your audience and people coming into the sport. So you want to have it in front of big venues, you know, like at the NFR, the National Finals Rodeo, or the Denver Stock Show, or something where you have an established group of people and kind of do a little expo so that people can see what you're talking about and hook up cowboy mounted shooting to the actual event.
So when people are first participating, what's the hardest part of this sport for someone who's brand new, maybe familiar with horses, maybe used to barrel race, maybe used to ride? How do they struggle, or they fit right in?
They usually fit right in, and they're always welcomed. The biggest hurdle is our sport is kind of expensive to get into. We have custom gun holsters to fit our guns. So we have two 45 caliber single action revolvers, and then because you don't want them to hit the dirt, you get custom holsters, custom chinks. Our horses all are wearing what we call splint boots and bell boots, and they run a little over $100. So we are good consumers.
There's a dress code for riders.
Yes.
What is that dress code?
You have to have a long sleeve button down shirt, so it's very much like rodeo wear. And then we have to have either chinks or chaps. So chinks are just short chaps. And then you have to have 5-pocketed jeans. And the ladies can wear skirts, and then they don't have to wear a hat. So they originally started so you could dress more 1800s style. And now we've kind of made a little bit of a departure from that and went more kind of rodeo style. But we still have to wear the long sleeve shirts.
Tell me your first try at the sport. When was it? What was it like? How did it work for you?
You know, probably sadly for my pocketbook, it went really well. I was boarding my horses at a place in Minnesota, and I volunteered to help. And when I got there, it was middle of the morning in Minnesota in October. It was cold and it was windy. When I got there, they said, well, here, you're going to set balloons on your horse. I had no idea what they were talking about, so I was gullible and did it. And I thought, man, my horse was so tired from shooting balloons that at the end of the day, when they gave me guns and said go out and shoot, my horse could have cared less. So I thought, well, this is easy. And unbeknownst to me, I was watching all the world champions run. We have world champions in Minnesota, so they made it look really easy. So I always compare it to watching ice skating in the Olympics, and it still has never made me want to strap on a pair of skates, but it looks so flawless and elegant when they're doing it. So when I tried it, that's what I saw, and when I got out of the arena after shooting my 10th balloon, I thought, I've just got to get some guns, and I'm doing this sport. So
well, 4 years from now, we'll look for you on an ice rink. How does that sound?
Good luck with that.
How do horses generally react to shooting? I know some wear earplugs, some don't. Is it troublesome for some horses to get adjusted to having a gun going off almost right in their ear?
It's harder for the horses to accept the earplugs a lot of times than it is for them to accept the gunfire. But usually we ride quarter horses, and they're very forgiving animals, and they're smart and they're athletic, and they do want to just please. Most of them have gone, had some additional training. So, they've been a rope horse in their past life, or they've, been a barrel racer, so they know how to work. And then, so it's usually a pretty easy transition here into this sport. But we do have new shooters clinics, and that helps, to train new people that are interested in the sport, so they don't have the investment right off the bat.
You had a clinic prior to this event in Star Valley. Tell us about that, and then tell us how you see this sport kind of becoming more mainstream in Wyoming.
Well, we had a new shooters clinic in mid-July, and we had a decent amount of people that were interested, and so we just acclimated them to gunfire, safe gun handling, their horses to the earplugs and gunfire, and then we did some ground shooting so they knew the distance of our ammo. And then we got on our horses and had a mentor horse next to a seasoned horse next to the new horse, and then eventually transitioned so the new rider and new horse were doing it on their own and just peeled off the mentor horse. And that works really well. And because they're pack animals, so if one is kind of nervous about it, then they usually feed off of that. So our new shooters clinic went without a hitch, and people here brought good horses and good working horses.
And this is the largest event of its kind ever to be held in the state of Wyoming.
Yes, it is.
My name is SUZY Beauregard. I'm the president of the Montana Wild Bunch from Gallatin Gateway, Montana. And do you know why I love this sport? The people, the horses, the competition, it doesn't get any better than this. Cowboys, guns, cowgirls, timed event, excitement, children involved, seniors involved, a whole family unit. This is an amazing sport. I've been in this sport for 17 years now, and I'm still as happy to do it as I was on day one. The way I got involved in mounted shooting was we saw a poster hanging up advertising a shoot in Ennis, Montana in August of 1998. And thought, well, let's go see what this is about. And ventured over to Ennis, Montana, which is about an hour from where I live, and sat in the grandstands and watched this phenomenal sport take place where people are riding through patterns and shooting targets and sharing camaraderie and helping each other out. And at that point I said, I can do this. This is exciting. There's 60-something different courses. There's great people involved. We get to shoot guns, ride horses. So that was the beginning. After seeing this sport of cowboy mounted shooting, I went home, ran the herd of horses of 13 into my round corral, stuck pop cans up on the fence and drug out some 45s and started weeding out horses. And it was keep this one, sell that one, sell that one, keep this one, sell that one, sell that one, and never looked back. Just started working with the horses and getting rid of the ones that didn't suit the sport. The way I see cowboy mounted shooting growing is to get involved more with the rodeo circuit and timed event circuit and streamline it. These standalone events are great family sport, great amateur circuit, but I'd love to see the pro circuit go with the rodeo clientele and streamline it and bring it out all over the world.
We're with Lisa GRIMSLEY at the Mounted Shooters event here in Star Valley, and we've changed venues. You just completed your second ride. Well, first, how did that go? Did it go
So
all
far,
right?
so good. I am clean for 2 stages. We have $150 added money for our clean shot, and we divide that between all the shooters that are clean. So I hope my name is on that list.
And tell us what a clean shoot is.
A clean shoot means you don't miss a balloon, you don't get a penalty, you don't knock a barrel, you don't drop a gun, you don't have anything that is going to assess any time penalty on your raw time.
And so when you're done with the day, your runs will be total time with penalties added, and then that's how we judge the event for the day.
Right. So your total time with penalties puts you in the order of, or in your overall results. And then it also breaks it down to your class, so your specific class.
And let's talk about classes, Lisa. 1 through 6, seniors and senior plus. you really can accommodate everyone.
We can. We're real proud of that. We have a Wrangler class, so from birth till 10 years old, you're in a different limited division, and the 10 to 12-year-olds are in the open division, meaning they have a little bit different rules as they get older. So we want to acclimate them to our sport and have them shoot cap guns and learn in a safe way. And then at the end of our shoots, our Wranglers always do ground shooting with an adult or guardian or a parent or guardian, and then they shoot real guns and have, you know, just off the ground though. So they're shooting the same balloon targets and walking and shooting. So, and then we have all age ranges going from, you know, like I said, like birth all the way up to a senior plus. So I think right now our oldest rider in the CMSA is in his 80s.
Okay, and this level 6 rider is the best rider you have. They're the top class, the fastest.
Right, we call them the pro riders. They have to win, and we all start as a 1, and then you have to win 4 times at a qualifying shoot, which means you have at least 10 riders, and you have to have a full class to get a qualifying win. For 1s, 2s, and 3s, you need 4 people. You need 4 people in your class, and you have to win at least 4 times. When you're a 4, you have to have 5 people in your class and win 5 times, and then it graduates up. So once you're a 6, that's the highest you can be.
We have a picture of the ammo on our screen right now. Tell us about it. What is it, and why aren't we having to duck every time one of your riders shoots?
Good question. We get asked that a lot. Our CMSA, the Cowboy Mounted Shooting Association, certifies our ammo providers. Our ammo is black powder, and it goes about 15 to 20 feet in prime conditions. And thankfully today we don't have wind, and it's still, and we don't have a lot of humidity, and that always affects, you know, the weather conditions affect the range of your ammo, but it doesn't go any farther. So it's just the heat and the gas that break the balloon. There isn't a projectile.
What kind of guns are you shooting?
Everybody shoots a .45 caliber single action revolver. So, and it could be in any make of single action revolver, and the barrel length can be vary a little bit as well.
And the holsters, there's a variety of holsters, some side by side, some together like we saw yours earlier. What is the design of a holster, and does it differ from rider to rider?
It differs tremendously, and everything is your taste, how you ride, how you and your horse operate. If you're left-handed, that makes a big difference on how you want your holsters. Some people like them up on their abdomen. Some people have them off to the side. Some people have what is called a pommel holster, so they're off on the side of the saddle horn, or a combination of one or the other.
But always 2 guns are with you on each run. You're shooting the first 5, you have to holster the gun, grab the other gun, and shoot the next 5 balloons.
Correct. Although these are 6 shooters, we only load 5. And then it's called indexing, so on your cylinder, the empty cartridge is in the top, and then when we pull the hammer back, because we have to pull the hammer for every single target, then it cycles the cylinder, and now you have your first bullet, I guess, in the chamber and ready to go.
So let's talk about this competition today. Why Star Valley, and what was it, when did you get the idea to do a competition here?
Well, I moved here 2 years ago in November, and when I saw this facility, I thought we have hit the jackpot. And it is kind of a virgin market here. Mounted shooting has not been introduced to this part of the state. The farthest west in the state of Wyoming they've shot has been Lander, and that was a shoot that I held a couple years ago in central Wyoming. So this valley had never heard of it. And there's 20,000 horses in this valley, in this 50-some mile valley, and it's pretty western, so I think most people have handguns or are very familiar with guns in general, you know, either shotgun, rifle. They do a lot of hunting, and they do a lot of horseback riding where they're, you know, packing up in the mountains, so it was kind of an easy transition or sell to these people because it piqued their interest. So I was happy that they're very receptive. This whole community has really gotten behind this.
We're in the city of Afton, the community of Afton. They've been wonderfully supportive for you. You've been before their town council, and things have worked out just like you had hoped.
They have worked out better than I have hoped. we have had really good people, very solid, strong advocates for this sport, and that have been really good about helping us promote it and like I said before, educate people on what our sport is. So it is family friendly, it's audience friendly, you know, we don't shoot the people. So that part has been really nice, and I've had a lot of phone calls as we've moved forward with advertising and promoting this event. So we've been very warmly welcomed.
So now, as this is not just an event in and of itself, you're working towards something, or many of the shooters and riders are working towards something that happens in Amarillo later in the year. Is that right?
Yes, all of us have aspirations to be a world champion, or we wouldn't be competitors in the first place. We have our world championships are held at the Tri-County Arena in Amarillo, Texas in October, and they've been held there since probably like 2008, I believe. And we've partnered with some breed associations like the American Quarter Horse Association, the American Paint Horse Association, and the AQHA is based out of Amarillo, so we have that influence. So our horses qualify for points through the AQHA, and it's nice. This is a shooting family. This is 20,000 people that show up or that are card holders, and it's like a family reunion every weekend when you have all of your mounted shooting family here.
So it's almost like a circuit.
It is.
It is. You have competitors here not just from Wyoming, but from all over the Northwest.
We probably have the least riders here from Wyoming. So that's good to see. It's a good problem to have. We have a lot of riders here from Utah, Montana, Idaho, Washington, and later on today we'll be giving a really nice award for the person that drove the farthest.
You're going to try to continue this event on this weekend, but there's a reason for that.
We want to piggyback on the weekend before. There's a shoot up in West Yellowstone, Montana that they started last year, and it's been extremely successful. And we wanted people to be in close proximity, and so instead of leaving one venue and waiting 2 weeks and coming back here, we wanted to capitalize on the proximity and have them just come from there here.
You've touched on it a little bit, but what makes a great place to host a mounted horse shoot?
First off, you have a big arena, you have to have good footing, you have to have a crow's nest, you have to have stalls and a variety of indoor and outdoor stalls, RV sites, dry camping. It's a laundry list of things. And you kind of want it to be in close proximity of town so that you get an audience and that you draw people, and the more people you have to watch, the more times you get more exposure for your sport and for your club.
One of the bigger events happens near Wyoming in the Black Hills in Spearfish. Tell us about that event.
It's a phenomenal event that the Lantis family started several years ago, and it's in July, and it is one of the majors, meaning the CMSA hosts that event, and we have several majors throughout the country. So the people that had just in early August, we had our Western Championships that were held at South Point in Las Vegas.
Where else in the world, or in the United States anyway, do you have major events?
We begin the season off with our nationals in Tunica, Mississippi in April. Then we have centrals in Stephenville, Texas in June. Our Western Championships in August in Vegas, and Labor Day, or right around Labor Day, we will have our Eastern Championships in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and then it'll be the World Finals.
So Lisa, then as we kind of conclude things today, does sport ever play well on television, do you think? Do you think that is that kind of what you're striving for?
I wish it would. I think.
And is that necessary really to take the sport to the next level?
That's a tough question. I wish we could be televised and it would be like football and everybody would understand what you're doing and the big picture. I don't know all the steps to get it to be that way, but I think anytime we have more fans here today than we've had at any other venue, including our World Finals Does this sport mix well with rodeo, or are they really separate things? We get a lot of people from rodeo, and a lot of times we lose people to rodeo, or at least they have that background, or their horse for sure has that background. So I think we complement one another. in that capacity. I mean, we appreciate what they do with their animals, and they do the same with us.
Lisa, it's been an absolute pleasure. I can't tell our viewers how energetic this lady is and what she's done to put on this shoot here in Afton, Wyoming in Star Valley. Thank you, Lisa, so much for joining us on Wyoming Chronicle.
Thank you. Thank you for having us and covering this event.